What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the latest Liverpool transfer news, and in this video you will hear the latest developments on the Nabil Fekir situation. Will he move to Liverpool or not? That's the big question that we will discuss today. We will hear when the senior stars like Jordan Henderson and Lovren will return to Liverpool training, and also Jurgen Klopp's thoughts before the season begins, and also all the latest transfer news, whether Liverpool will sell many players in the remaining like 7 days of the transfer window, because remember that the Premier League transfer window slams shut on August the 9th, one day before the Premier League season officially begins. So if you enjoy these transfer news videos, please leave a like, it really helps me out. Subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you never miss an upload. And Robert Pires, the Arsenal legend, who I used to be a big fan of when he was playing for Arsenal, because he was left-footed just like me, and even though I supported Liverpool as a kid growing up, I really liked how Robert Pires played, so I have a lot of respect for him. He urged Nabil Fekir, who is a fellow French player, to sign for Liverpool, interestingly. So Robert Pires said this in an interview: Fekir would be a good fit for the Premier League and a great signing for Liverpool. I don't know why the deal broke down at the medical earlier this summer, but Fekir is a great player and would be a good signing for Liverpool. However, the Liverpool Echo and James Pearce are saying that Liverpool at the moment have no interest in signing Nabil Fekir, and I find that a little bit surprising, because, you know, I don't think that we ran out of money, but maybe Liverpool are looking to shift Danny Ings and Divock Origi from the squad, and players like Mignolet as well. And Danny Ings is on the verge of signing for Crystal Palace, even though Danny Ings has trained fully with Liverpool in Evian in the French training camp. He won't feature against Napoli tomorrow as he prepares to seal a transfer away from Liverpool. This was confirmed by Liverpool Echo journalist James Pearce. So the big question is, will somebody sign Divock Origi, because he would command a 20 to 25 million pound transfer fee. Danny Ings, it could be 20 million pounds the transfer fee that he goes for to Crystal Palace, and that would mean that Liverpool would have enough money to take the risk of signing Nabil Fekir. And I still feel that we are a little bit short in the attacking areas, because what if we have a big injury to Mane or Salah or Firmino, and we cannot rely on players like Shaqiri and Naby Keita to score the amount of goals that those players, those front three players would score for Liverpool. And I think Fekir would make us really major contenders for the Premier League title alongside Manchester City. But let me know guys, do you think Liverpool is finished in the transfer window? Are you happy with the squad as it is? Do you think that the squad is big enough and deep enough? And the other reason why I still want Liverpool to sign Nabil Fekir is that I want to win a trophy, not just to compete for the title and go far in the Champions League. I want to win either the FA Cup, of course the dream, the biggest dream is the Premier League, but I still feel that without a Nabil Fekir player, without a Coutinho replacement, Liverpool are just that little bit short of Man City's quality. Because remember that Manchester City scored more than 100 goals and got 100 points last season, and they got only stronger because they signed Riyad Mahrez for like 60 million pounds. But it looks like this Nabil Fekir transfer might not happen, and I find that a little bit surprising, because why would Jurgen Klopp, you know, go to the length of, you know, getting Nabil Fekir a medical, doing a club interview with him and agreeing everything with Lyon, and then of course the medical results came up. It's fine if the Liverpool you know, bosses think that it's too much of a risk to sign a player who could break down at any moment in the next 2 or 3 years with a bad knee. It's fine that we don't sign Nabil Fekir, but why didn't Jurgen Klopp identify a replacement? We still had like 6 weeks left of the transfer window when the Nabil Fekir transfer fell through. And did we spend that Nabil Fekir money on Alisson? I find that a little bit hard to believe, because remember that we still had the Coutinho money from January. Yes, we signed Virgil van Dijk, but then we sold Coutinho, and I think we spent the majority of the Coutinho money plus some of the transfer budget this summer, but I still feel that if Liverpool really wanted to, we could go out and sign another player who is a similar player to Nabil Fekir. But maybe the problem is that Jurgen Klopp looked around in the transfer market, and also Liverpool scouts looked around the transfer market, and maybe they thought there is not one player who could have as big an impact as Nabil Fekir, and it's a little bit risky for Liverpool not to sign a Coutinho replacement, because I still feel that in midfield we are lacking goals. If you take a look at all the midfielders that Liverpool have, Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, Naby Keita and Lallana, they are not goal scorers, and Nabil Fekir has put 15-20 goals usually almost every season at Lyon, and he has been playing in a central attacking midfield a lot of the time. So Nabil Fekir would instantly be a massive upgrade. But maybe Lyon didn't want to lower their asking price. Maybe they thought if they ask for £50 million, one club will pay it, and so far no club has gone in for Nabil Fekir. Not just Liverpool, but Nabil Fekir has been linked with Manchester United, with Chelsea, even with Arsenal, and nobody from the English Premier League gave in and to Lyon's demands, and nobody is paying the asking price. So maybe this medical showed that you know, signing Nabil Fekir for close to £50 million would be too big a risk to take for Liverpool, and I'm a little bit sad about this. But of course I don't know the details of that medical, so I can't really say whether Liverpool are right or wrong to make this decision. I'm just hoping that Liverpool will be strong enough to go toe to toe with Manchester City for the Premier League title. And if we get a major injury to one of our attacking players, that's where I will say we are lacking a player like Nabil Fekir who could come in and take the mantle. Well, let me know what is your opinion. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. And Jurgen Klopp said some interesting things before the season, interesting things about the Napoli friendly and also the Torino friendly at Anfield. But first, Jurgen Klopp said this about Roberto Firmino, who is looking in good shape before the season starts. So there is hope that Roberto Firmino could be match sharp and match ready for the West Ham game, the Premier League opener. It's good to have Firmino here, he looks in good shape, that's what Klopp said. If possible, we will see whether he plays a part against Napoli. Training for the outfield players is obviously different than for the goalies, but we want to see him as well against Napoli. We will see for how long. When we start the Premier League season against West Ham, he will have had then 2 weeks after 3 weeks off. It should be possible, but we will see until then. So Jurgen Klopp is saying here that Firmino had 3 weeks off and he will have 2 weeks training before the West Ham game. And Firmino looks like a really fit player, so I think there is every chance that Firmino could start against West Ham United, and I think it's very important that we have our number 9. Sturridge could be a really good player to start, but he plays a completely different game to Firmino. Firmino is vital to the Klopp machine, to the counter-pressing style that we want to play from the first day of the season, so I really hope that Firmino starts, and Sturridge could be our super substitute. I actually read an article recently that Daniel Sturridge scored 11 goals as a substitute throughout his Liverpool career. The record is held by David Fairclough, who was of course Liverpool's super sub legend at the club in the 70s and 80s. He has 18 substitute goals, if I remember correctly. Ryan Babel surprisingly has 12 substitute goals. So if Sturridge stays for another 1 or 2 years, he could actually break Ryan Fairclough's record of scoring another like 7 goals in the Liverpool shirt as a substitute, and then he will be the player who scored the most goals as a substitute in Liverpool's illustrious history. And that's, I think, a role that Sturridge should embrace, and I think Sturridge could be a huge player for Liverpool. As I said, we wouldn't need to talk about signing a player like Nabil Fekir, who could you know, score when we have injuries and tired players from the attackers, if Sturridge stayed fit for the whole season. Because if Sturridge could stay fit for even 6 months, that would be like having another £30 million striker in the squad, and that would be a huge difference. Jurgen Klopp said that Trent Alexander-Arnold has put on some muscle in the summer. He said in Trent's case it looks like he's still growing. You can see him after 5 weeks and it's like something is different. Maybe a muscle here or muscle there. I find that interview really fascinating and funny. So Jurgen Klopp said this about the Torino friendly at Anfield. This game we play for 2 seasons, for 2 reasons, sorry. From one point of view, we needed another game because it was clear a lot of players would come back later. We will see who can start against Napoli. Those who can't start against Napoli will start against Torino. It will be a mix-up. For all the new players, it will be the first time in the stadium, and it's very important that you get used to all these things. But actually the main reason was that it should be the people's game. We planned it a long time ago. It was still last season when we said we wanted to have this game to make it possible for all the people in Liverpool to come to Anfield. I only heard about it, but it's obviously difficult to come to Anfield to get a ticket and all that stuff. A game in midweek, but in the summer holidays should be an opportunity against a really good opponent. It's a really important game for us. It's not some game to show up with our supporters, so I'm really happy about this. And let's talk about the Champions League. Liverpool at the moment are in pot 3 of the Champions League group stages. The draw is that you draw 1 team from each pot, and in pot 1 and pot 2 there are huge teams. But Liverpool could get lucky, because at the moment in pot 2 Benfica is there, but they still have to play 2 qualifying rounds to get into the Champions League group stages. So if Benfica fail in either of those 2 qualifying playoff rounds, they will drop down to the Europa League, and then Liverpool will move up to pot 2. And Benfica, who I think lost all their games in the group stage last season, so they are not as strong as they once were, like 3 or 4 years ago. They are playing, I think, Fenerbahce, a Turkish team, Fenerbahce or Beşiktaş. I'm not 100% sure. I think they are playing Fenerbahce. So there is a real chance of Benfica losing that tie and not qualifying for the Champions League group stages, and then Liverpool will move up to pot 2. Because at the moment our coefficient is a best out of all the teams that are in the group stages already in pot 3, and it would be huge because in pot 1 there are teams like Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Bayern, Barcelona, Juventus, Paris Saint-Germain, Man City and Lokomotiv Moscow. So we definitely will get 1 team out of these. And then in pot 2 there is big teams like Tottenham, Napoli, Roma, Shakhtar Donetsk, Man United, Porto, Dortmund and Benfica as well. But Benfica is the only team who haven't yet qualified for the group stages, so they need to play 2 playoff rounds. And I really want to get into pot 2 because it would be best for Liverpool if we avoided teams like Roma, Napoli, Shakhtar Donetsk, even a very strong team, Borussia Dortmund as well. So I really hope that Liverpool avoid the hardest draw possible. And there are some big teams in pot 4. Inter Milan, Valencia and Hoffenheim. 3 very strong teams in pot 4. So there could be some nightmare groups in the Champions League. For example, there could be a group of Real Madrid, Napoli, Liverpool and Valencia. No, sorry. There could be a group like Bayern Munich, Napoli, Liverpool and Valencia. I mean, these groups could be insane in the Champions League. I really hope that Liverpool avoid a scenario like that. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.